In the summer of 2019, a group of 14 people, divided into 7 pairs, planned a multi-day hike in Olympic National Park, Washington. This place is known for its dense forests, wild trails, and majestic natural beauty, but it also holds mysterious stories about missing people or strange phenomena that have been reported. Our group, consisting of friends with a shared interest in hiking and exploring, was very excited about this trip. We had prepared thoroughly in all aspects: gear, food, and also mentally for the challenges ahead. In the group, there were 2 very close young women named Anna and Beth, whose names have been changed. They were a good hiking pair, always encouraging and helping each other along the way. Anna particularly liked to record every moment of the trip with the action camera mounted on her backpack. On the day of departure, the atmosphere was very cheerful and lively. The 7 pairs sequentially began their journey, heading deeper into the forest. The towering ancient trees, the sunlight filtering through the canopy, and the sounds of the wild nature created a beautiful scene. We followed a less traveled trail, with the goal of conquering a distant mountain peak on the other side of the park. The trail was rugged, with many steep and difficult sections, requiring perseverance and physical stamina. The pairs gradually separated from each other, each pair maintaining their own pace. Anna and Beth were among the faster pairs. They wanted to challenge their limits and enjoy the feeling of accomplishment. As they went deeper into the forest, the feeling of wilderness and isolation became more apparent. The sounds of the city gradually disappeared, leaving only the sounds of the wind, birds, and their own footsteps on the dry leaf-covered ground. Anna always kept her camera on, recording the view ahead, behind, and both of them hiking. She wanted to have complete documentation of the trip. In the late morning, they stopped to rest, have a snack, and check the map. The trail ahead looked even steeper, but the destination, the distant mountain peak, was already in sight. Beth said, her voice full of excitement, "We're almost there. Come on, Anna." Anna smiled, her fatigue seemingly vanished. "Definitely. We'll be the first ones to the top." They didn't know that on that wild trail, something else was watching them. Something that didn't belong to the natural world. The fateful hike of Anna and Beth, and the whole group, had just begun. After resting, Anna and Beth felt full of energy. They decided to pick up the pace, trying to close the distance to the mountain peak. They left the other pairs behind, only the sound of their footsteps echoing on the quiet trail. The sun's rays began to intensify, but as they went deeper into the dense areas, shadows from the ancient tree canopies covered the trail. The air became cooler, but also damp and carried a smell of earth and decaying leaves. As they climbed the steep sections, fatigue began to show. Their breathing was heavy, their muscles strained, but the determination to reach the summit still pushed them forward. While hiking, Beth suddenly felt a cold draft engulf her, as if someone had just opened a refrigerator door right next to her. "Anna, do you feel cold?" Beth asked, her voice slightly trembling. Anna stopped, looking at Beth with a puzzled expression. "No, I feel fine. Maybe it's just the wind." But Beth knew it wasn't the wind. The cold draft was very different. very sudden, and concentrated in a small area. They continued to climb. The feeling of being watched began to appear. At first, it was just a subtle feeling, as if someone was looking at them from a distance. But the higher they climbed, the stronger the feeling became. As they went around a bend in the trail, Anna suddenly saw something at the edge of her vision. A black shadow flitting between the trees in the distance. She startled and turned her head to look. Nothing was there, only trees and darkness. "What's wrong, Anna?" Beth asked. Nothing," Anna said, trying to sound calm. She thought perhaps it was just an illusion due to fatigue. However, the unease in her heart grew stronger. The wild trail, the eerie silence, and the feeling of being watched sent shivers down her spine. They continued to climb, trying to reach the mountain peak as quickly as possible. They didn't talk much anymore, just focused on climbing. Both Anna and Beth sensed a change in the surrounding atmosphere. It wasn't just the cold or the silence. It was a heavy, gloomy feeling, as if they had just stepped into a place that didn't belong to this world. The action camera on Anna's backpack was still running, recording the entire scene behind them on the trail. They didn't know that what their eyes couldn't see was being clearly recorded by the indifferent lens. The darkness on the trail was gradually taking shape. As Anna and Beth got closer to the mountain peak, their fatigue seemed to disappear, replaced by excitement and hope. They could see more clearly the figures of a few people standing on the summit, waving in welcome. "It's them," Beth exclaimed, her voice full of joy. They sped up, trying to climb the last steep section. The sun shone directly on their faces. But they didn't care. They just wanted to reach their destination. As they climbed to the top, their breathing was heavy, their bodies tired, but their faces were radiant. They looked towards the people standing there. However, something strange happened. The people standing on the summit were not from their group. They were some other hikers they had never met. And those people weren't waving in welcome. They just stood there, looking down with normal expressions. That's weird, isn't it?" Beth mumbled. Anna also felt confused. She was sure she had seen someone waving. Despite being slightly disappointed, they still reached the summit. They took a few pictures, enjoying the beautiful view from above. The other group of hikers then left. Anna and Beth stayed on the summit for a while, waiting for the other pairs in their group to arrive. While waiting, the feeling of being watched reappeared, stronger than ever. Anna turned her head to look at the trail they had just climbed. No one was there. The trail was empty, shrouded in the darkness of the forest. But Anna sensed some presence below. A cold and terrifying presence. Then, a faint sound echoed from somewhere below, sounding like a branch breaking. Beth also heard the sound. She looked at Anna worriedly. "Is someone down there?" Anna shook her head, trying to sound calm. "Probably just an animal." However, they both knew it wasn't an animal. The unease in their hearts grew stronger. Time passed, and none of the pairs in their group reached the summit. They started to worry. The afternoon was also setting in, the sunlight starting to fade. They decided they would start descending, hoping to meet the others on the way. As they began their descent, the feeling of being watched became even more apparent. It felt as if someone was walking right behind them. They turned their heads to check multiple times, but saw no one. The darkness of the forest began to cover the trail. The air became colder. They walked faster, wanting to escape that terrifying feeling of being stalked. The action camera on Anna's backpack was still running, recording the entire trail behind them. Every step, every tree. They didn't know that in those moments, when they felt they were being watched, something terrifying was right behind them. Something that their eyes couldn't see. But the camera clearly recorded. The moments of being stalked on the wild trail had been recorded. After the mountain trip, Anna and Beth returned home, tired but also full of thoughts about the strange phenomena they had experienced, the sudden cold draft, the crying sound, or something similar to crying, under the bridge, the blurry white figure, and the constant feeling of being watched on the trail. They talked to others in the group about what had happened. Some people also experienced strange things on the way, but not as terrifying as Anna and Beth. Some people completely disbelieved supernatural stories. Anna decided to review all the footage she had recorded with her action camera. She wanted to see if she had missed anything, or if there was any explanation for those phenomena. She sat in front of the computer, reviewing each segment of footage. The shots of the forest, the trail, Beth's tired but happy face, and the moments they stopped to rest. When watching the footage recorded when they were climbing the steep section near the summit, where they felt most intensely watched, Anna suddenly stopped. She saw something at the edge of the frame, something moving very fast in the darkness of the forest in the distance. Anna rewound the footage, watching slower. Her heart pounded in her chest. Then, she saw it more clearly. It was a black shadow. A tall, black figure, moving parallel to the trail, hidden among the trees. That black shadow was not a person. It moved in a strange way. Unlike how humans move, it glided across the ground, or leapt over trees in an unnatural manner. Anna continued to watch the footage. That black shadow was following them. It kept a certain distance, but it was always there, in the darkness. Then, to the footage recorded when they were climbing the last steep sections. Near the summit, Anna and Beth's faces appeared in the frame, tired but determined, and right behind them, only a few meters away, the black shadow appeared again. This time, it was clearer than ever. A dark black figure, tall, with two long, gaunt arms. It was running after them, moving very fast, as if trying to catch up. Anna screamed in horror and recoiled from the screen. She couldn't believe her eyes. She called Beth over. Beth was also horrified when she saw the footage. "My God, what is that?" Beth mumbled, her face pale. They rewound the footage multiple times, rewatching that terrifying moment. The black shadow, moving unnaturally, trailing them on the wild trail. They saw the moment they turned their heads to check, but saw nothing. Meanwhile, the black shadow was only meters away from them, hidden among the trees, staring intently at them. Then, they watched the footage recorded when they started descending the mountain. The feeling of being watched reappeared, and the black shadow was there again, trailing them from behind, moving in the darkness. Undeniable evidence. They hadn't imagined everything. Something had been following them on that mountain. Something evil and terrifying. They had been stalked by an invisible force. Something that was not human. Real fear enveloped Anna and Beth. They had brought home not only beautiful photos of the trip, but also evidence of a nightmare. The black shadow on the trail was not just a ghost. It was a reminder of something terrible hidden in the wilderness. The discovery of the trailing black shadow in the footage completely changed how Anna and Beth viewed their mountain trip. The strange phenomena they experienced were no longer difficult to explain things. They were proof of something supernatural. Something evil. They shared the footage with others in their group. Most people were shocked and scared when they saw the black shadow. Some still tried to find rational explanations, claiming it was a lighting effect or a tree shadow. But those who had experienced strange things on the way completely believed in the horrifying truth. Anna and Beth began to research the history of Olympic National Park, especially the area where they had hiked. They read about accidents, mysterious disappearances in the past. They found a few notable stories about a tragic accident that happened years ago on a trail near that area, where a family died tragically. About reports of strange phenomena, black shadows seen in the woods by hikers or park rangers. Some local residents spoke of ancient curses related to that area, about trapped spirits or evil entities protecting the land. Anna and Beth shivered reading these stories. They began to believe that the black shadow they saw in the footage was related to the dark history of that mountain. Perhaps it was the spirit of someone who died tragically, or some entity that had lived there for thousands of years, and it didn't like people encroaching on its territory. This truth was both terrifying and heartbreaking. The black shadow was not just a ghost. It was a warning, a reminder of the secrets hidden in the wilderness. Anna and Beth couldn't forget the horrifying footage. The image of the black shadow following them haunted their dreams. The feeling of being stalked never completely disappeared. They knew they were lucky to have escaped that mountain without being harmed. Perhaps the black shadow simply wanted to warn them, wanted to tell them that they shouldn't be there. However, the fact that something like that exists out there made them live in unease. They viewed the world differently, always sensing that something was hidden beneath the surface. The footage of the black shadow on the trail became terrifying evidence. Anna uploaded it online, sharing it with others to warn them about what might be hidden in the wilderness. The footage quickly went viral, causing debate and fear online. Some people believed the story, while others were skeptical. However, for Anna and Beth, and those who experienced it, the truth was undeniable. The black shadow on the trail in Olympic National Park is real. It is a reminder of an evil force hidden in the wilderness. A force that does not want to be disturbed, and is ready to warn those who dare to encroach on its land. The legacy of that hike is not just memories of an adventurous trip. It is fear, the haunting memory of the trailing black shadow, and proof of something supernatural and terrifying existing in this world. If you enjoyed these true horror stories, or stories based on recorded events, like this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button on the channel to follow our latest videos. We will bring you more terrifying and haunting stories. Thank you for listening.